All right, I covered this before that I thought that Steve Irwin was possibly a Illuminati blood sacrifice. So I saw this that Robert Irwin, his son, was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and this thing was going around the internet and trending. And I had this reaction, and you will too. I'll leave a link in the description box. And I had this reaction, and Jimmy Fallon had this reaction. So Robert Irwin starts talking, and Jimmy Fallon said what I think everybody is thinking. You're actually your dad. That's what Jimmy Fallon says, all excited, because he's just like his dad. He looks just like Steve Irwin. And this brings up the logical conclusion or question or possibility that he might be Steve Irwin's clone. Now, I've covered this in many videos. They have the technology to clone, unlike a lot of people in the truth community who think that they can clone an adult and recreate their personality. My understanding of the technology that's available is they can clone a person, but the clone is born as a baby and it has to develop a personality and it has to be educated and needs all the other things a normal human being would need, which of course would be logical, but these things go off on a tangent. And this thing with Steve Irwin, there's very well possibly could be his clone. Now, there's a lot of weird things about Steve Irwin's story, his death, and then I just covered this in a recent video where Bindi Irwin was crowned the winner of Dancing with the Stars, which is a whole propaganda show. And the way that they celebrated her dad's death and all of that, they keep on bringing it up like it's one of these events. It's a psychological operation that they keep on bringing up again and again. They've created a sort of empire over there based in his death. The way they keep on rolling it out, it appears that there's something there, like a blood sacrifice. There's some reason for this. There's some reason that they've made this family into, it's certainly in Australia, they're this huge celebrity family, but also on a worldwide basis. And there's just a lot of kind of unanswered questions and things that don't make sense in the narrative about the guy's death. So there seems to be a lot of things to do with some sort of Illuminati blood sacrifice. And then there was that time that Steve Irwin went out to feed a crocodile and he had his baby son Robert in one hand, his possible clone, and then in the other hand he had a chicken. That everybody freaked out on the internet, and he said, I know what I'm doing. And that whole thing is bizarre. It seems like he was an inside job and there was some sort of deal made here, like, we're going to take you out, but you'll raise your own clone. It's in the Star Wars movies where that guy, I think his name was Boba Fett, raised his own clone. And so I don't know. I mean, there's no way to actually prove it, but I'll leave a link in the description box. If you watch the video, it's like Steve Irwin as a kid. That's what he's just all excited, enthusiastic about animals. He's talking about it, and it seems like the same guy. And that was my initial reaction, because this is a situation where this cloning narrative actually would fit. Because a clone has to be born and raised and develop a personality. They can't clone an adult and substitute them a week later. It's not possible. You have to develop a personality. You have to learn to read and write. You learn how to walk, all these things. Clones aren't superhuman. They don't come out of a box like a Barbie doll. But this story, this narrative would fit that, where a clone is born into a family and is raised up and it takes the place of the other person. And so it's just really bizarre, but it's in 2017, it's completely believable and even sort of more highly likely than the story that they're feeding us. All right, well, the link is in the description box. You can make your own decision about this. This is Paul Romano reporting from the apocalypse. Everybody have a blessed day.